Not because we don't want them to know, we don't want people to come in and make a demonstration or make something that is seen, because right now, God has been here every night, and He goes with us. We keep it that way. We're about people, policies, and not personalities.
I know. Is Andy Jansky here? Okay.
Andy, are you there?
Okay. So we're going to open in prayer. Why? Sorry. Oh, okay. Thank you. Way back there. We're going to pray. If you'll stand with me, we're going to lift up our God. Thank you. Father, thank you so much again for bringing these awesome people together. I thank you for all the hearts that come together that care about turning the tide in this community and seeing that this goes forth from here. It's not just about Mesa County, but this is about our nation. We thank you for our founding fathers that loved you and founded this nation on godly principles. And we thank you for this group, that it's the same, that it's founded on godly principles. May we go out knowing that you are a God and you fight for us, causing us to show up to the battle and letting you do the rest. I thank you for empowering people that have been afraid and frightened and alone and feeling like they're battling alone. I thank you that you are coming alongside people and letting them know that they're not alone, they're not crazy, that there's a group out here, there's more than one of us too. I thank you that this is going forth into several counties into Colorado, and that it will continue to gain momentum and become a snowball effect. I just thank you, Father, that for the victory. May we be encouraged tonight and go forth. Thank you, Father. Amen. Amen. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. Okay, now, see Tamara with the minutes.
All right, minutes for the meeting of August 16th, 2021. Meeting was opened by President Tom Keenan, prayer was said by Wendy Wood, and pledge was given. Live guest speakers presented via Zoom, including America's Frontline Doctor, Dr. Berkey, a local OBGYN from St. Mary's, Dr. White, and Sharona Bishop. Q&A session with Sharona Bishop followed her summary of the incidents surrounding the Cyber Symposium in South Dakota. Voting for treasurer was announced to commence after two candidates presented their credentials and motivation to become treasurer. Karen Sebald and Brant Kincaid were the candidates. And then announcements were given. We now have child supervision available for parents who want to attend these meetings. The House and Senate redistricting will change our precincts. We need to fill in those seats. Please support our local school board candidates by holding meet and greets in your homes. A Democrat is running against Lauren Boebert this year as a Republican, or this coming year as a Republican. If we get 71% support in our caucus meetings, Lauren's opposition will not even make it onto the ballot. Your district can be found on any ballot of yours you can access. It is the last two digits of your registration number. Voting is essential, but too late to make a change. It starts at the grassroots level. Get involved and support our school, city, county, and commissioners at each level of their careers. Concerned Citizens Appreciation Barbecue on August 29th at 1 p.m. School board meeting and prior prayer walk invitation was made. Invitation was made for people to prep for the upcoming city council meeting. A call was made to reconvene to get the vote announced. New treasurer was announced, Karen Sebald. Minutes were read and accepted, seconded and voted in. Mark closed us in prayer and meeting was adjourned.
Thank you, Tamara. Now for the treasury report and going to accept the both. Those members that are present here, we would like to have a accept them.
I accept it.
Second, we got a, all in favor?
Thank you, Tom. Current treasury report as of last Tuesday, August 17th, we had in our account $6,121.49. Thank you. I'd like to comment here, but look at this, man. Praise God. I'd like. Amen. I would also. We need to move along. Thank you. I would like to remind each and every one of you here, you are not here just to come to a meeting tonight and then go home and sit on your sofa.
That's right.
You're here because you are ready to put your feet to the ground and find areas within our organization to become actively involved. Emphasize, you're not here for just a Monday night meeting. Now, many of you may not even, I'm sure a number of you, you're not sure yet where to plug in. Tom can tell you more about our website. Okay, next. I have a trivia question tonight, and I have a book to give for the one that can name the person. There's actually 4 quotes. I'm going to read them one at a time, and I want you to shout it out when you know who this individual is. And this individual said all 4 of them. So, first, every accomplishment starts with the decision to try. Second quote. What? No. Second quote. The ignorance of one voter in a democracy, or I'd say a constitutional republic, impairs the security of all. Again, the ignorance of one voter in a democracy impairs the security of all. Third quote from this individual: life is never easy. There is work to be done and obligations to be met. Obligations to truth, to justice, and to liberty. I heard it back there. Who said JFK? Let me read the 4th one. The 4th quote is, if not us, then who? And if not now, when? Folks, the time is now. Anderson, JFK would make a good Republican today.
Well, marginal.
Okay, thank you. Thank you. Okay, moving on. I would like to just have a little recap of things that are happening so you know what's going on. Just a short recap. It's incredible, let me tell you. It's knocking my socks off. What God has put in front of us here right now as far as the leadership that we have in our chair people. We have about 7 active groups right now going strong, so there's lots of room. And we've got another 7 on the back burner that will be going right after we get with the school board. Right now, school board, commissioners meeting tomorrow. Who's got some more information on that? 1 o'clock, we're at the courthouse?
Yes, they are going
At the courthouse. We need to fill that room, we need to fill the stairways, we need to fill everything in there because they are going to vote on those doggone machines. $96,000 a year for those machines to upkeep them. It cost us $600,000, I heard, to buy them. We don't need those machines. We need paper ballots, and we get them put our thing up. We got to start screaming paper ballots. Paper ballots. We need to have people there. Those guys just don't seem to think that the 30 or 40 people are showing up, so we'll try 100 or 200 people showing up at 1 o'clock tomorrow, and we'll fill that building, not just that room. They've got to hear from us that we have to, I don't care who they put in the elections, okay? And I just got word we're gonna hear from Tina here in a little bit, okay? So as soon as she calls in, my mic's gonna go dead and you're gonna be listening to Tina. So that's the instructions we have, shut me off. Okay, announcements. School board candidate.
Hi everybody, Angela Lima for District 51 School Board District E, and where's Andrea? She's all the way in the back, Andrea Heights. I'm going to kick him all the way up and I'll be done with this announcement. It's just a little one. So next week, we're going to have all three of your conservative candidates here and do a question and answer. We'll tell you about our candidacies and how what our platforms are, what we're doing. It's an awesome opportunity for you guys to get to ask all of the questions that you have. Nova asked me to make sure that everybody knows we're going to have 3x5 cards out front. So get here early if you've got specific questions that you want to ask. That way we can just keep it moving quickly and she can move through questions that may be repetitive and so forth. So we'll get you guys a great opportunity to ask all of the questions that you have and get lots and lots of answers. You want to? Why don't you say hi? Oh yeah. Okay, so I've had a couple of questions why Will Jones is not here. He's a football coach at Central, and Monday nights are really tricky for him because he's working. So he made arrangements and he'll be here next week for sure.
Okay, folks, these ladies and Will need your help. Okay, they are going to run in. I ran in 2017. The Denver School Teachers Union sent $95,000 over here to defeat myself and one other conservative candidate. They're after us. We need people at every school building. The last 2 weeks of the election process, we want to have a minimum of 3 people handing out information at every elementary, middle school, and high school, because that's what I ran into when I drove up. It was me against a half a dozen teachers handing out flyers to parents as they're driving through. Okay, so anyway, that's where we're at with that. You're bothering me. Okay, next. Rick? I'm not like the school board. Let's get you in. Yeah, I'm a member. Up to your mouth, Rick. I'm a member. I've been here about a month. I'm just a cowboy from Whitewater. But I am a former. Okay, I am a former firefighter and a former Marine, and I may take some heat. I may take a little heat for this comment I'm going to make, but I guess I'm used to heat. So basically, in a nutshell, I was at the rally on Saturday, and we were there utilizing our constitutional right to speak and to protest and all that, right? Well, there was a young college kid in the back, off the corner, and he had a sign, and the sign was against us. It was Tina Peters stole data. So I took Dave Hancock and myself, I went over and had a nice conversation with this young man. Found out who he was, told him I wanted to talk about what he was doing, and basically he alluded to he was getting some heat from us. So how can we stand for the Constitution and then we're going to affect his constitutional rights? We can't do that, it's not right.
Right.
Okay, so we need to remember that. Secondly, in the commissioners meeting this morning, Scott McGinnis made a comment that he's getting a lot of emails from apparently Stand for the Constitution people that are making claims just like the college kid did, that Tina Peters is a criminal, she stole data, that Wayne Williams is a criminal and he's done things.
We have to make sure that we make accusations, we can't call them fact unless they've been proven. Tina Peters is innocent until proven guilty, and so is Wayne Williams. Okay? So we need to remember, we lost credibility from some of those emails, and we can't afford to lose that stuff. So that's kind of my reminder. We need to stand by what we believe in and carry through. So thank you very much.
Hello, everybody! Woo! Let us stand up fast. Let us stand up, all of us. Let us look to the flag. Let's look at the flag. Let us sing this song. Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rockets red the first singing there gave proof through the night that I was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner for the land of the free and the home of the brave. Woo! Yes. Let's take a seat quick here. I love that flag and I love this country, and I'm so proud to be here. I'm from a country of a dictator who has been ruling for so years. And when I see freedom, oh, tears of joy comes in my heart. Freedom, freedom, freedom is a smell of something beautiful. And when I see what's going on in our country, my heart gets broken. Now, the gentleman who has just come up here, he has told us about what's going on in our country. People are choosing each other of what is true and what is not true. We have media in our country that has betrayed us completely. But in the midst of the betrayal, if you're not careful, you can create something beautiful out of that crisis. And that's what's happening right now. Myself and a few of us here in this group, we want to stand up and be the news, be the people that are going to bring you the news that you need to hear at the right time, at a good moment, whenever something is happening in our community here. If the news media will not defend us and defend the truth and stand up for our flag and for our country and for our constitution, we're going to be the voice that's going to take up the news. So, I want to give you an example. You guys are amazing. On Monday we're here, and we did ask you that we want you to come to the school board meeting. You guys, you showed up in the big number. And guess what happened? We were there, and other people of our friends were there, and you know what we're doing? We were recording everything that was going on in that room. And I am so proud. I can't tell you how proud I am for the people that were in that room because they stood their ground. Secondly, the video that we recorded that very day, and Daily Scenario, I guess Daily Scenario, went and reported the things that were not matching what took place during that meeting. But guess what happened? People had somewhere where they could go to find the truth that took place. And guess what happened?
because you guys, you saw the board meeting and you began sharing with your friends and your neighbors. The truth got out. And as I speak right now, we have over 5,100 people from the Grand Valley and beyond had a chance to hear the truth that took place in the board meeting. Isn't that powerful? So this is what we ask you. If you see something on Stand for the Constitution, share it as much as you can. Share it as much as you can. Now the news media actually is reaching out to us and they're asking us, hey, can you guys send us those videos you're taking, because they don't have access to that. So I want to ask you and I want to encourage you, if you have talents you want to combine with ours, come and talk to us. We would love to put you to work and let us save our country. God bless you.
I'm just going to drop the mic and walk off for him. So. How are you guys liking the Great Reset? Yeah. Pretty fun, huh? So, a lot of us have been working extremely hard for months and months and months, even when there was like 40 or 50 people in the room. And a lot of you guys, came here in a crisis. Like, this bad, evil thing is coming down on us, right? We got hospitals mandating vaccines. I just had somebody message me. I don't even know how many people have messaged me and say, I have nothing to treat this. I'm really sick, and people keep telling me, you guys know how to get over COVID. I just got a message like 5 minutes ago. Another person the other day, and we send them to the right doctors that get them treated, and they call within hours. They're like, thank you, I can breathe again. Amen. And what I'm about to say is I'm not an anti-vaccine person like for my whole life, okay? But earlier in the year, you guys know that they started this whole narrative that this is the pandemic of the unvaccinated. Has anybody ever heard that? When they all start saying it in unison, it's a lie. Just start with that and then go figure out what's actually going on, all right? So, those of us that have tracked the numbers, we knew that countries like Israel had vaccinated most of their population, like 70, 80%. 90 at times, right? And they're getting just messed up by COVID. I thought I was supposed to end it. But in our country, we keep getting told there's only unvaccinated people in the hospital with COVID, guys. That's it. That's all that's happening. I've been talking to nurses and doctors around here, and they tell me that that's a lie. But our numbers also tell me that's a lie. Those of you guys know I break them down like every week. But let me just give you a couple of examples of how they set up the numbers to be a lie, okay? Now, who remembers last year when somebody passes away from COVID with a gunshot wound, they get counted as a COVID death? Who sets a system like that up and leaves it up this entire time and hasn't changed it, and those numbers are still in our total? The CDC, right? All right, I'm almost done. I know we're rushing. So they set it up to be counted to mess us up in the first place, okay? So when they set up our numbers with the vaccine, they don't count you as vaccinated until 14 days after. How many people have heard of somebody getting it within a couple of days of getting the shot? Or testing positive because of the actual effects of the shot? So those numbers are counted in the no vaccination on record numbers, okay? Do you know when they said the pandemic of the unvaccinated, they were counting numbers from January through May? When did the vaccine really start getting out? Like March, April, right? And we had a ton of people in the hospital in January and February. That's our, like, coming off the winter time. So they used front-end loaded numbers, okay? And then they cut those numbers off. By the way, that's right around the time when they stopped publishing the breakthrough cases for all of us to see. They cut that off, and then they just counted those numbers and said, it's 99.99% of everybody. Okay, so right now in Mesa County, we have 38% of our population vaccinated. Guess how many, or what percentage of our total cases last week was vaccinated people? 25%. Out of, and they're only 38% of the population. We were told that this is 90 whatever percent effective, right? 22% of our deaths in the last 3.5 months with COVID were people that were vaccinated. We have, I'm done. This is my last one, Tom. Last one. I'm serious about this. We have to look through the lies. That's all I'm saying. The only reason I found out about the early treatments and people called me about that is because I saw that it was a lie. So I'm just, yeah. They're telling us, okay, guess how many breakthrough cases, or sorry, guess how many people have gotten COVID twice in Mesa County in a year and a half? 75. Okay, 75. The health department director estimates that 70,000 people, that's 45% of our population. Guess how many breakthrough cases we have in the last 3.5 months? 700. You do the math, and that's also with the fact that we are constantly testing unvaccinated people. They get tested 2-3 times a week at some businesses. Okay, so we're testing them like crazy, and the other group is starting to rise and show up, and I've been tracking it every week. It's been from 14% to 16% to 19 and 25 now. And then the KKCO just came out and said, oh, by the way, we're having a lot of breakthrough cases. Some, yeah. But anyways, I'm just telling you guys, yeah.
We get the drift.
Get to the right doctors and get to the right numbers. Yeah.
Thank you. The gentleman does a lot of work on this. Okay. Quick note, we got a new sheriff that just stepped into Mesa County. Okay, and I visited with him up front. Appearance looks pretty good, but I'm not totally satisfied. But he's going to be here on September 20th to let you guys fire away. I would like to introduce Richard here with the Constitutional Sheriff's Program and see if we can, if there's people in here who would like to support that.
Hi. We have, in fact, sent an application off to become a constitutional charter county with the CSPOA. We're going to be meeting with Sheriff Mack in Utah on September 11th to talk about that. And we want to get him to come out here with the team to do constitutional training for our law enforcement people, sheriff, city, whatever. Now there's a problem. To doing this, you've got to have a reason for him to want to come here. And one of the questions he's going to ask me is, how many CSPO members do we have in Mesa County? If he asked me that today, I tell him 14. When he's got other counties that have hundreds, who's going to get it? We need your help. You don't have to do anything other than get one of our sheets, follow the directions, sign up and become a CSPOA member. So we'll have the support that we need when we go talk to him in September to get him to come here. Please help us, or we can't do the job you've given us to do. Thank you.
Next, we'll have Belinda from the Elections Office to just speak a little bit about this.
What an opportunity this is to be able to share. I remember being at a Stand for the Constitution meeting down on 7th Street in a coffee shop, and there was about 14 people. And what a difference just a few months makes because of your commitment. The other thing I see, I am the Chief Deputy to Clerk Tina Peters. I see the faces that were there this morning at the Commissioner's hearing. People that stood up and spoke for what is right as well as what is legal.
I am the chief deputy, and as the chief deputy, when the clerk is absent, I am the clerk. Chief deputy is a position that is appointed. I did not go through the application and hiring process. Tina Peters asked me to be her chief deputy about a year ago. And as such, when she is out of the office, I am the clerk. That is statute. The statute says that the clerk shall appoint a chief deputy to be in her stead when she's absent to be the clerk. This morning there were many of you that said, why is it that Belinda Knisley is not, as chief deputy, the election designated official? You asked the question. I noticed that the commissioners answered a lot of the other questions that were asked, but they avoided that question and never mentioned my name in regards to the position. As the clerk to the board, which I was originally hired for, I've learned to be the person responsible for the clerk to the board that is there for the hearings, over recording, over the motor vehicle department, as well as over the elections department. I'm over Brandy Bance, the director. This last week, I was told I was no longer over the election department, that Brandy Bance did not have to return my phone calls, and that I no longer had any authority when it came to the election department. So all 5 divisions that Clerk Peters is responsible for, I am her chief deputy and responsible to her for them. The county has stripped me of the ability of giving any direction or information or even having a phone call returned from the election department. Well, it was strange to me this morning when the commissioners answered all of the other questions that were asked, except for the one as to why I was not appointed. This afternoon, the director of HR, Brenda Moore, and the administrator of our county, Peter Baer, walked into my office. They handed me a letter that said, based upon numerous complaints from multiple sources, you are under investigation for inappropriate, unprofessional conduct in the workplace. To ensure the investigation is conducted in a thorough and an impartial manner, Mesa County will retain the services of a third-party agency to investigate these claims. We trust that you will cooperate with the investigators selected by Mesa County. Man, they can trust me for a lot, can't they? The next paragraph, it says, although the 21st Judicial District Attorney's Office is conducting a criminal investigation into the acts that resulted from the decertification of the voting machines of which you have been identified as a person of interest, this action is not based upon those allegations. You are being suspended with pay pending the outcome of the investigations. Effective immediately, you are on administrative leave with pay pending a final decision. During this time, you're not to be present at your work site. You are not to be conducting any work for Mesa County. You are also instructed to refrain from conduct which might be perceived as intimidating to other Mesa County employees. Both you and the clerk and recorder's office are subject to the employment policies of the county. We are confident you will cooperate in our efforts to minimize any potential liability the county may face. Let me just share with you. I left on vacation, and the very first day, this happened during the trusted bill, the very first day I fell, which led to a heart attack. And I spent that week in ICU in Payson, Utah, being treated for that heart attack. I was nowhere near what took place. The only thing I did was support my leader, the clerk and recorder, Tina Peters. She's done nothing wrong. She is my leader, and I thank you all for supporting her.
and you're about to hear me get
All
cut
right,
off.
yep, I'm gonna take over this one real quick. We just got a phone call, and I hope this works. Our little low-tech stuff we got here. I've got Tina on the phone here. She'd like to talk to you guys. It's great timing with Belinda just finishing up, so.
Belinda's the hero. She's been running that office. God love her. She's a strong Christian. She's my sister. And God called her to that position. When she came to, she was in my office one evening. We were both working late, and I looked at her, and these were not my words that came out of my mouth. I said to her, do you want to be my chief deputy? And after I said that, I was like, oh my gosh, what did I just say? I can't take that back. And it was God, because he knew what was going to happen. He knew this was coming. This is no surprise for him. So I just want to say that all of you are heroes. I mean, Corey, your speech today, Karen, yours, all of you guys got up and really, all of you at the rally on Saturday. I mean, people are taking notice all over the country, all over. I was on, after what happened to Belinda, after this also happening to Sandy a week ago, I was like a mama bear that somebody had taken their cubs. And I called up Mike Lindell, and it just so happened he was on the air when I called. And it was a live program, and I just told him what was going on. My attorney just left, and tomorrow, Corey, you and Karen, we got some business going on in the morning. So we'll talk about that. But just be encouraged that, when the fight gets the worst, it means you're right over the target. And what you're going to find out, it's not going to happen for a few weeks, because there's terabytes after terabyte of information on those hard drives to go through. But I have a little bit of insider information, and what is going to come out could save not only Colorado and the United States, but this has been going on all over the world. So just know that I'm just a David, and all of you are Davids, and we're after this Goliath, and we got him. We got him. I didn't do this for me. I did this because I love the people of Mesa County.
We love you!
I mean, he is so, and Belinda and I can tell you stories of, us sitting across the desk praying for the citizens of Mesa County, and how we've turned that office around from a government office that actually treated the citizens like they were just second-class citizens, and turning it around to actually reaching out and showing God's love to the people. Just because you go to a government facility, it doesn't mean, and everybody has to go to the clerk's office, it doesn't mean that it has to be an unpleasant experience. And that was our vision, and that was our goal. And God had other things in mind as well to put us in the position that we're in. So I don't by any means take credit for any of this. It's just, when you raise your hand and you say, God, use me, just be careful. So I just want to encourage everybody. I saw the rally. I saw the commissioners' hearing today, And I want to just encourage you all to press forward. Your voice is making a difference in Mesa County. Now tomorrow they're making a decision, and they are deciding, as far as Wayne Williams, they're deciding about signing the contract, and he is a big friend of Charles Ashby's. Actually, he asked Charles Ashby, or he told Charles Ashby to lay off of our elections director. And she told us that he said he would, he would do that. And he's no friend of ours, Charles Ashby or Wayne Williams or Brandy Vance, those people in the elections office. They have wrongfully accused Belinda of treating people wrongly in the office, and I've never known a more compassionate, more understanding, more a person that coaches instead of condemns, coaches people in my office. And but tomorrow is a big day. Tomorrow they're going to decide to sign a contract. Get this. A 7-year contract with Dominion voting systems. That's what your commissioners are going to do tomorrow. So everybody, and I had already given them information, Belinda and I had given them information about Clear Ballot as a choice. Clear Ballot's cheaper. They can do the job. They're approved by the Secretary of State. There's 2 counties in Colorado, Douglas County and Garfield County, that are using them right now. And they it's going to $750,000 to lease the equipment, which is what we'll have paid in 2 more years with Dominion. It's $277,000 and about $50,000 a year instead of $90,000 a year for maintenance. So they are choosing to listen to the voices of the Secretary of State and to the voices of Wayne Williams, who actually was responsible for bringing Dominion into Grand Junction. So in Colorado, he was the Secretary of State. So that's happening tomorrow. I would go there and voice your concerns. A 7-year contract, I'm going to have to live with that if they put that in my office. They're trying to draw me out, is my opinion right now, by taking my chief deputy, who is the acting clerk, when I'm not there. They're trying to get me they're trying to draw me out, is what I think, to come and show up at the office. And who knows? I mean, with these trumped up charges, they might be wanting to arrest me. So that's the stuff we're dealing with. But let me encourage you. Let me encourage you that what we have is worth fighting for. And what we have on them. And you won't find out for a few weeks because, like I said, there's terabyte after terabyte of information to go through. But what I know so far, and I can share with you, is big. And you guys in Mesa County are at the tip of the spear.
Thank you.
Thank you, Tina. We love you too. We love you too. Thank you, Tina.
Okay, call me, Corey.
I don't know. We may or may not have her number. I'm not sure where she's at. So. And just real quick, guys, I want to give a quick update. There is a website for her legal fund. It is SaveTina, I gave you the wrong one on Saturday. I apologize. It's SaveTina, That is her legal defense fund. I'll give you guys a little short version of what I gave in the commissioner meeting today. Our county clerk's office is under a live coup right now. I mean, there's no other way to put it, right? The Secretary of State has overreached her power and tried to insert someone. The statute that Belinda talked about is absolutely what should be followed right now. It does say by any means, right? Any reason, for any reason, if the county clerk is not around, and the duties fall to the deputy clerk. Her and her office are more than capable of running an election without Tina around. But this coup that's happening right now by your Secretary of State, Gina Grizzly, calling her now. And you know, even the county commissioners, right? I'm a little disappointed in them for not standing up to her. I'm also a little disappointed in my sheriff right now. I'm not gonna lie to you. It's their responsibility to protect us. It's their county. Why are they letting Denver come in and take over this office? Trumped up charges on Belinda. She's the sweetest person I think I know. She's definitely sweeter than my wife. Anyways, I digress. My name is Corey Anderson, aka Duke Everett. For those of you who don't know me, I'm the Mason County Captain for the Election Integrity Project. For my canvassers and anybody else who's interested, we do have a affidavit walk this Sunday. From about 10 to 1, give or take, we're going to try and go out and collect all those affidavits that we found door knocking. After that, we're going to have an appreciation barbecue here for our canvassers. I'm sorry everyone else, but it is an appreciation barbecue for the last 5 months of work that they've all put in. For those who are real good, everybody stand up if you're a canvasser and been a part of this effort, because there's a lot of people here maybe for the first time. They don't know the value of this. These are all of our canvassers. These are all of our patriots here that have put in work. I'm talking work over the last 5 months. We've knocked 20, 30,000 doors, made thousands of contacts. It's just been incredible what these guys have done. 100-degree heat, and they're out pounding the pavement, knocking on doors. That's how we get all our data. So thank you, and we will see you on Sunday. Thanks, guys.
Okay, one quick announcement. We're trying to expand the parking lot. Looks like we need to expand this room. But over here behind the gentleman in the white cowboy hat is a little pan setting there for donations. We want to try to increase the parking area. They need to put a surface on the dirt so their gravel doesn't go down into the mud. So if you'd like to donate on your way out or around, it's right over there behind them at the table. Appreciate that. I was talking to Pastor Dan today, and he said it's going to take about $600. That's about $200 a piece, or $2 a piece. Always remember the first number. Okay. For schools.
Yeah.
Yes, schools.
All right, quick update on schools. We're going to send an email out to the whole group, but our school district is doing a steering committee to help set their vision for the district going forward for the next several years, and they're asking for applicants. So we need as many people as possible to apply. I don't know what their standards are, but they're just saying they want a diverse population on this committee. So we all know what that means. You know, they really don't, but they'll say that they're trying to. So if we have a ton of conservative candidates, they have to at least accept a few. And if you can't apply, there's only 5 meetings. They're on Thursday nights, and they're starting very soon. So applications are due by the end of this month. You'll get an email. This is all being done through the Colorado Education Initiative, which is a very left-leaning, progressive educational organization. So if you see that email come through, that's what that is for. If you can go to the meetings, please apply. If you can't, you can also listen into these sessions. So just encourage you to get involved in that way. Also, we're going to have our Assistant Superintendent Brian Hill is coming in 2 weeks, September 13th, along with our new Director of Equity and Inclusion, Tracy Gallegos, will be here. Yay! So, yes, we all have feelings on that. So we are going to field questions again ahead of time, sort of like we did when Paul Pitton was here.
We're not going to spring things on them at the last minute, but we do want to actually put some pressure on some of these sensitive areas, but in a kind and respectful way. And so if you have questions, again, I will put my email out there, and then with this other email, please email them to me, or we will also get you cards. But we want to have them done before that actual night. So, yeah.
Thank you. It is another one of those groups, the Colorado Education Initiative, that's going after our kids. That's who they can sway, and that's where they're going. Okay, let's move on to our medical and.
Sorry, I'm gonna be brief. You heard what Tina Peters said. Tomorrow they're going to be voting on whether we're going to have Dominion voting machines in our county again. Guys, we have a choice here to make. If you have free time tomorrow, come and show your support. Tell those people that we don't want those machines. And that is going to happen if you come in person and stand there and voice out your frustration. Secondly, you know the email addresses for our county commissioners. Flood them with emails tonight and tell them that if they do this, I'm not going to stray. I'm not going to stray. But if they do this, they should never stand here. They should never ask for any vote from us. We'll go and vote cockroaches to represent us. We need, this is what it's talking about, guys. We need to flood them with emails tonight. Let them show them that we don't want Dominion machines in our county. If we need to stand behind somebody's back, we're going to do that.
Thank you. Thank you.
Amen. 6 months ago, I didn't know who my county commissioners were. Okay? Now I'm roped into this, okay? So, if you don't know, here's what you can do. Ask somebody, go online. Is it scary to send an email? The first time you do it, you know. But then guess what? You start getting crazy about it and you start sending emails to your county commissioners, to your health department, to your school board, to whoever it is. And that's when you realize that you can make a difference. And when they hear all of us, then they're gonna know. How many of you, raise your hand if you have gobs of free time? Oh, that's what I thought, right? A few in the back do, so we're gonna need you. It's not about how much free time you have, it's about how angry you are and how passionate you are and ready
I have free time now.
Thank you. Yeah, you do. Yeah. So, how many of you know that we did have a protest today for those affected by the mandate? So, it's really hard when most people are at work trying to, you know, get their jobs done and take care of people. But we had about 75 protesters at Mesa Manor and about 60 at Hilltop later that day. We had one rowdy guy. They're telling me I gotta talk louder. Turn this thing up. One rowdy guy that we had to call the police on, so that was fun. Several interviews with both KKCO and our media source here, which we need help with. And you know, you didn't give me a time limit, so I'm gonna close it up in like a minute. But so the reason we went to Mesa Manor today is because they were told basically last week, if you don't have the vax, you don't need to show up for work, you're done. And so do you know what their strategy is? If we can get these people under voluntary resignation, then technically we didn't fire them, so we're not in trouble. So make them fire you. Do not comply. Guess what? If you... Put down any of your feelings, because I know so many of you are not sleeping. I know some of you are racked with anxiety. But you have to see in this room that, number one, you're not alone. Number two, this is not the only issue. Number three, we're fighting an evil force that's coming for each and every one of us.
Right.
And if this is your first taste of it, welcome to the club. Okay, so you can see how all these things are so important. The reason we went to Hilltop is because they sent out a notice that they would be requiring the vaccination if you wanted to remain employed as well. And they had a bus, a vaccine bus on site. So you get told if you're not vaccinated, you're done here. Oh, by the way, we'll have a bus pull up so you can take this experimental shot. I don't care what the FDA said today, and let's just wait and be patient and see how that plays out anyways. They've skipped every, and you guys, I'm preaching to the choir again, you know they've skipped every safety trial that needs to be done. They're not finished. So, on that, our group is going to split off here in a few minutes, and we're going to go to some more detailed things on planning. A few of us have been running 24/7 on coffee, trying to get as much done as we can, and we need more people to help us out and be a part of that inner ring that can help plan things, like planning these protests, planning rallies that are coming up, getting people connected, deciding who's going to go and slam the petitions on whose desk. By the way, if you are at Community Hospital, I want to encourage you all to band together and show up to their next board meeting, or show up to the next time that you can present for them, and we'll go into detail on that later, because I guarantee you, if you stand up, they will listen. Not so sure about St. Mary's, but here's the overall strategy, and then I'll hand this back over. The overall strategy is, if you're gonna sue somebody, they need to have committed an actionable crime, okay? So if you play by their rules and you fill out their exemption forms that have all these little things at the bottom that say that they can fire you if they find out your religious exemption was fraudulent. By the way, who gets to decide what my religion is? Okay. If you play by their rules, that's what they want, right? So that's why we're saying what we want to do right now, if we go and throw in a bunch of lawsuits and hit the nuke button, it's going to be less effective than if we catch them in an actionable crime. So that's just a little teaser. We'll go into a little bit more detail tonight in our small breakout group. So I'll hand it back over to you, Tom. Thank you.
Yeah, folks, I'd just like to say, we can do more damage to ourselves than good if we take off here. So please, think twice, okay? The things we've heard from Tina, that's for us, okay? Let's don't go out there and try to muddy up what's taking place, okay? We know what's happening. We can feel good about what she's done for us. We can feel good about what we're doing here. But we can destroy this whole operation really easy. Okay, I truly feel that God has brought each and every one of you here. He has placed people in front of me at the moment I need it, without even asking. Amen. You've seen what has happened in this room. The same thing is happening on our website. The same thing is happening in our church group. We're exploding all over, so we've got a lot of things going on. We're going to be a little tight. The big room upstairs, the other
chapel
room has the jail ministry in there tonight. So we're going to keep the medical staff up here in front. I want the school group. You're going to go to the back of the room. We'll pull that divider across there and separate that out. Corey, your group in that back room, right straight back here, if you could. That's the biggest room in here, is right through those doors at the back of the room. Okay.
We're good.
You got it? Okay. So if we can get up without running into each other.